Hey everyone, I am Dr. Surjit Singh. I am starting a new series on Python via examples. In this series, I am using Python 3, but most of the programs will have backward compatibility. Let us begin. In this session, we shall cover syntax of Python statements, print function, integer and float data types, constants and variables, expressions and statements, arithmetic operators, comment statements, and garbage collection. In the program area of Python environment, write the one-line program exactly as shown here and run it. Ignore the colors of the text, which are used only for clarity in reading. We use this program as our shakehand with Python, which is established if we get the output similar to the one as shown in the box here. First line of the output tells us about the location of the program. Next line is the actual output. Third line is the text message, process finished with exit code 0. Code 0 means that all is well and there are no errors in running the program. We also call it the execution of the program. Error message appear differently in different versions of Python. We only have to ensure that the execution of the program is free of errors. This is the output line that concerns us. If we change the text within the codes of the Python statement, this output line also changes. The rules under which Python statements are written are called its syntax. If we change the spellings of print or misplace parentheses, it is a syntax error. In such a case, exit code of the program is not 0 and we have to correct the program line. We must note that Python is a case-sensitive language. We will use only lowercase alphabets for variables that we choose. When I started using computers about 60 years ago, they were meant only for complicated and time-consuming numerical calculations, so I'm beginning this series with arithmetic calculations. Those of you who are new to programming may have to watch this video repeatedly, but there is nothing that you cannot understand. Please feel free to contact me on my email address given below. Periodically, I shall be holding discussions on Zoom as well. In our primary schools, we began with numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. We call them integers. We then learnt about addition of integer numbers. For this, we learn about arithmetic expressions which become part of the arithmetic statements of Python. Python program is a collection of Python statements that we execute one by one. We will now enter these three lines in the program area of Python interpreter. Let us make the stepwise understanding of the program as we run it. First line starts with a hash. Such statements are called comment statements and Python ignores them. We use comments for our own reference and can write them anywhere in the program. Later on, they remind us and our co-programmers about what is going on in a section of the program. Second line of the program is an arithmetic statement. All arithmetic statements have three parts. Its first part is the name of a variable. Total is the variable in this statement. Second part is the equal to sign. In Python, we call it the assignment operator. Third part is an arithmetic expression. This order forms the syntax of the assignment statements of Python. Syntax is like grammar of Python. Python language has specified syntax for all the statements and we have to follow them very strictly. Any violation of Python syntax will result in a syntax error. Computer will begin with solving this expression for us. 3 and 5 here are two integers and the plus sign is the arithmetic operator between them. We know that the result of this expression is also an integer whose value is 8. Python solves this expression for us and stores the result in its memory. Along with the value of the result, that is 8, it also stores its data type, which is integer. This means that the result of the arithmetic expression 3 plus 5 is integer 8. Assignment operator links the two sides of the Python statement in the memory of the computer, for which it saves the variable name also in the memory and links it with the result of the expression. but we cannot read into the computer memory directly, so we use the print statement. This time print function has two arguments separated by a comma. First argument is within quotes, so Python writes it as such in the output area. Second argument is a variable named total. Python looks for it in its memory and writes its value. At the end of the program, it writes the message exit code 0 and then clears the memory, and only output remains with us. We can now change the integers 3 and 5 in the memory and rerun it to see the corresponding changes in the output. Garbage in, garbage out is the rule that Python follows, so be careful. What is the maximum integer that we can store in Python? The answer is no limit. Python can change storage design to accommodate large integers of any size. So only size of the memory of our computer is the limit. Let us now learn about another arithmetic operator called minus, which is used in the second statement of this program. We have used comment in the residual part of this statement. This is allowed and is ignored by Python. Result of the arithmetic expression 5 minus 3 is 2. Python stores it in its memory, and variable named difference gets this value. We recommend that variable names should always be meaningful. Next statement gives the output line. We must take a pause after every program to learn the effect of changes that we may make in the program. If plus and minus operators are present in a single statement, arithmetic expression will follow the rule first come first served, going from left to right. These rules are consistent with the BODMAS rules of arithmetic. 5 plus 2 becomes 7, from which we subtract 4 and get 3 as the answer in the print statement. This time I have not shown the memory of the computer, and I expect you to figure it out in your memory. Star is the operator that we use for multiplication. Priority rules of Python say that multiplication has preference over addition and subtraction. In this program, we first multiply 2 with 4 to get 8, which we add to 5, so output value of x in this program is 13. We can use parentheses in arithmetic expressions to change the priorities of the operations. In this expression, we add 5 to 2 and their result is multiplied by 4, so that the result is 28. There is no limit on the number of pairs of parentheses. We can use nested parentheses, which means a pair of parentheses is present within another. The result of this arithmetic expression is 6. But in large expressions, we are likely to make mistakes, so it is better to split the complicated expressions into 2 or more statements. Also, it is a good idea to explain everything by comments and blank lines. We make original statement a comment, save expression within the parentheses as temp variable, and we use it to evaluate result, which remains 6. These days, all programs are developed as a team. Therefore, it is important to avoid complicated statements even if the program gets longer. Comments do not affect the running time or memory used by the program. Surely, it helps in easy maintenance of the program when modifications become necessary in existing programs. Typically, we use 30% time in coding a new program and 70% time in maintaining them. Slash is the arithmetic operator for division in Python. So if A is 7 and B is 4, A by B is 1.75. So far, so good. But the question is that the result is not an integer this time. Then how do we store it? In Python, we can know about the data types of the variables present in its memory. For this, we extend the program statements as shown. If we now run the program, we get this as the output. Whereas A and B are of integer type, result is of float type. The name float for this data type comes from the fact that decimal point can be made to float over the digits. 1.75 can also be written as 175 into 10 to power minus 2, which is written in Python as 175e minus 2. We can write the same number in many other ways by shifting the decimal point. Both capital and small e are allowed for exponent and they mean the same thing. Speed of light is 3 lakh km per second, that can be written as 3e5. This way we can handle very large numbers in Python. Note that 6 by 3 is 2, but still it will be saved in the float form as 2.0 because it is the result of a division. Sometimes the requirement is to find the quotient and remainder in an integer division. We know that when we divide 7 by 4, quotient is 1 and remainder is 3. Operator double slash gives us quotient of the integer division, while percentage gives us the remainder in the integer division. Both quotient and remainder belong to integer class. Last arithmetic operation that we will discuss is the raised to power operation, for which operator is double star. For example, we know that 5 raised to power 3 is 5 cube, for which answer is 125. If both a and b are integers, the result is also of int type. If one of them is float type, the result is also a floating point number. Consider this program. We store a and b as 5 and 3 in the memory. Now if we assign a as b plus 4, 7 is stored in a new memory and is assigned to a. With this, printing of a and b gives 7 and 3. Memory having 5 is now dangling and is no longer accessible. It has become garbage. There is a regular garbage collection in Python that clears such memories and restores them back to the operating system so that we can use them for any other purpose. In this program, we store 5 in x. The statement x is equal to x plus 1 is valid in Python. It evaluates x plus 1 as 6, which becomes new value of x, and garbage collection deletes 5 from the memory and we get 6 as the output. Same can also be written in this form. Plus equal to is another assignment operator that is called increase by. So x plus equal to 1 means increase x by 1. Some more assignment operators of this form are decrease by, multiply by, divide by, and so on. In this session, we learnt about integers and float data types, arithmetic operators and assignment operators, assignment statements, print function for output, type function to know data types of a variable, and comment statements. We also learned about syntax errors and garbage collection. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to ask for further clarifications on my email address given below. I'm looking forward to your comments. Stay tuned for more.